Hey everybody, and welcome to a Lefty Knitter podcast. My name's Aquila, and this is episode 248. I come to you from Baltimore, Maryland with my husband, my kids, my cats, and yeah, it's a crafty podcast that I try to record vlog style. It has just not been happening. I'll get to a little bit of that, I guess. So if you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and I appreciate everybody that comes here and watches. I know I haven't done much of my sock machine videos. I still have a speed questions with vendors video I need to put out. I'm getting to it, I promise. So just to nip it in the head really quick, because it's a lot. The anniversary, is that weird to say? The 1 year mark of my dad passing is slowly coming upon us, and I am still, when it comes to things that are hard and difficult and take, a lot of emotion out, I am a procrastinator, and so I am still working on my dad's estate, and it's just been very overwhelming, and at the end of the day, I don't have a lot of energy to record what I'm doing. I want to just sit down with my family, hang out for a little bit, watch some TV, and knit. And that's what I've been doing. So today is Saturday, September 12th, and then I'm going to be doing this all-in-one clip today. So that's not my normal format, and it's okay. I have to just be able to accept that I am doing the best I can possible, and yeah, here I am. So I'm trying to still show up for you guys, and I apologize when I can't, and I know everybody's going to be very understanding. Everybody's always been very understanding here, so I really appreciate that. Let's get into some of what I've been working on. So if you're a returning viewer, you know I'm working on the Polina pullover. I'll insert a picture here of what it looks like. I have made some good progress on this. I am now on ball 3 of the main color, and I decided once I got to the point in the pattern it told you to start the ribbing on the body, I put it on a cable and put some stoppers on the ends, and I'm going to wait because I want to get the sleeves put on to see how that adjusts and fixes and manipulates how the bottom hem is going to be. That is a tip and trick if you don't, if you're new to knitting, you haven't done a lot of garment knitting. Sometimes, in my opinion, I've not done this with all my garments, but I've heard other people talk about doing this also. Putting your sleeves on, and then if my pattern already had the whole hem done, the neckline was done. Some patterns you don't do a neckline and you put that on last. I suggest putting that on before you decide the length of your arms and your sleeves. Your arms, which is your sleeves, and the bottom ribbing, the length of your body of the sweater, because that can also pull up and adjust. It can pull this up like this, and then your sleeve could be shorter. Like if you already knit your sleeve, you know what I mean? So if you're doing a sweater that doesn't have the collar on it, I would get to a point past the sleeve separation into the body, put your collar on, put your neckline on, and then do your sleeves and your body. Since mine already has the neckline, I've stopped at a certain point past the sleeve separation, and I'm doing my sleeves. Then I will do the rest of my body. If you are playing yarn chicken, that might not be what you want to do, only because you might want the body to be the exact length that you want, and then you're going to split what you have in yarn and make the arms as long as you can. I have done that with a sweater. So I guess it really depends on the project you're working on, how much yarn you have, things like that, but putting this on can affect the fit of your sweater or garment or whatever you're making. I just want to put that out there. I was last at, let's see, where was I? I was just getting ready to start the color work right here. I finished the color work and I knit as far as I possibly could Well, no, not as far as I knit to what it said inches wise from the armpit to the bottom before you start ribbing. I then put that on a cable. Like I said, it is on a cable with stoppers, and I picked up my sleeve and I did my color work. I have marked all my decreases. That's all my decreases, so I know on the opposite sleeve I can do the same. And I put this on today to try it on to see the sleeve length, because the ribbing is supposed to be 2.5 inches for the cuff ribbing. I'm not sure if I want 2.5 inches. So I know my row gauge is not correct. So I measured my row gauge, and the pattern says to knit 15 rows of ribbing for the cuff. And 15 rows in my gauge is a little less than 2 inches. So what I'm going to do, because I did only need, once I got to where it told me to start ribbing, it said it's going to be a 2.5 inch cuff. That was like the perfect amount, because when I tried, I put a mark on here. You can't see it because I got a shower and I washed it off. But I put my sweater on and I drew with a Sharpie where my sweater stopped. So I could like really measure with the sweater off, and that is like the definite mark. And so I measured where I want from here and where I want my sleeve to hit. That was 2.5 inches. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to knit another about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little more, 3/4 of an inch of stockinette. Then I'm going to do the 15 rows of ribbing that it calls for, because in my gauge, that's not 2.5 inches. It's whatever I said, it's a little less than 2. So that's going to give me the 2.5 inches I need. So, and I will put a different color marker right here where I start my stockinette for however many rows I'm going to do. Whatever a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch of knitting is, I'll put that in. So I'll be able to know I did 10 rows of stockinette extra to be able to mimic it on the other side. Like, I haven't done anything on the side. This is how it looks on the other side. So I am so happy with this. You guys have, like, it's beautiful. So this is actually the front, because I have all the markers on the back. And this yellow line will come out. It is just a lifeline I had put in case. Man, when I tried this on, I was so incredibly happy with it. So here we go. I also cast on, I told you guys about the Simple Hug cardigan. I made one previously out of a Karen cotton cake. And when I saw this yarn, it's the Big Twist Supernova. I have a whole skein like right there, but I'll just pull out the one I have. I started it. I decided to go with a US 10 for the body, and I did a US 9 for the ribbing. And I'll show you that in a minute. This is the Nebula Big Twist Supernova, and the colorway is Nebula. And that's this one. It's like the dark rainbow. I love it so much. The yarn does have some spots where it's not fully twisted, so you have to just be aware that's what you're getting with this. And I talked in the previous episode when I purchased this, it's thick and thin in places. So I'm considering this, they consider it, they consider this a 2 fine, which is a sport. I'm treating this like a DK weight, which is going to be fine for the sweater, because the original pattern calls for a fingering plus a lace equaling a DK for the sweater, for the original pattern. Am I right about that, or was I looking at the love note? Because I know that's what the love note calls for. I'll correct myself. But here is what I have done. So this is a bottom-up cardigan, and you're working the whole bottom of the cardigan, everything that comes around. You'll add a band that goes all the way up and around, but this is the whole body of the cardigan. So, and it's all stockinette except for the ribbing, but look at that. It's really scrunched up on here. Yes, this is the size of the needle I'm using. That does not go around my body, but you can see how scrunched up it is on here. And it's really going to stretch. That is the coolest. I am so excited to have this rainbow cardigan. I wear my other Simple Hug a lot. It just doesn't match everything. So, not that this is going to match everything either. I was really contemplating on making a Simple Hug in an all black yarn, But when I saw this, I knew I had to make one out of this yarn. But let me show you a close-up of what it looks like. And it will be really, really open once it's relaxed and blocked. It does have some wool content. It is a 20% wool, I believe. Let me make sure of that. It is 80% premium acrylic and 20% wool. So it will block a little bit. It's mostly acrylic, but you know, after wear and the weight, it really will like pull and stretch out. It's gonna be super cozy. I am really happy with this. There are blocks where, you know, you're going back and forth knitting. So some of these stripes are going to be wider in places because you can see this teal barely goes over, but it doubled up here. So it's just dependent on the width of what the object is you're making. See, this is what I'm talking about. See that where it's not super like twisted, and here too. It's like that kind of all over the sweater. Not a ton. Like, you don't see a ton of it, but it is there. So don't be alarmed when you come across that. You could probably shave it down, maybe trim it, but I'm not going to. I don't want to mess up the integrity if there's not much of a strand to that yarn. So I'm not going to do that. All right. I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. Well, well, well. Look who's popping in as editing Aquila, because I totally forgot to talk about 2 projects. You're going to get out of the shower hair on a Sunday because I just washed our giant truck that pulls our camper and my car because they both desperately needed it, and out of shape is definitely the word of the day today. So all right, I just wanted to show you guys these. Remember the eyeballs? I purchased the dirt floor yarns, I believe. She also has a YouTube channel, so if you want to see what she's making and all her crafting, I will link that down below. The eyes were so cute, and Hazel was okay with me using this yarn. I tried another yarn, but it was too much like, it was like a chenille yarn, but it was too fluffy, like fun fur, but not fun fur. So I told Hazel there was just no way it was going to work with that. So I pulled out the yarn that I made her that cardigan. She actually wore it the other day. She wouldn't let me take a picture. Out of this retro velvet yarn. If you've been around a while, you'll remember the cardigan I made her. So I used this, and the pattern is Hatchling Snake. It's on Etsy. I'll also link that below. By SaucyPuffinCrafts. So I have a finished snake. I don't remember what Hazel named it, but look how cute it is. Such a cute little guy. He's got the tongue and everything. Isn't he cute? So Hazel has a new friend. I actually made 2 of these, and I used a different set of safety eyes that I had so the sisters could each have a snaky snake. And then I made one holding worsted weight double, but it just didn't look as good. I did, Hayes gifted that to her friend, and her friend carried it around with her the whole day, and it was actually really cute. So they're well loved, so I want to make sure Hayes can put this with her collection of stuffed animals. And yeah, so he's super cute. The ones that she makes, she does like stripes on them, and you just have to check it out. The other thing, which I will insert a picture here, I have a finished pair of socks, which I already gifted. This was the yarn, and this is the Marisol, and I'm not going to know how to, it's the, oh god, I can't say that either, word for colorful. I'm not good at pronouncing other languages. So this yarn here, and the colorway was Lago Titicaca, color number 8. So yeah, they were gifted already. So I just had to pop in and talk about that because I totally forgot, because it's been like 2 weeks of not recording stuff and just putting stuff off to the side, and honestly forgetting that I even made it. Is that terrible? That's not. We do that all the time, right? All right, back to the regularly scheduled program. I may have moved the camera, so it might be a little bit off from what it was before, but we're back after like a minute. I did cake up my yarn from Rising Tide Fiber Company. I showed John a few hats, and I believe I'm going to be making what's called the Hipster Hat. And is it petiteKnits or is it Hohi? And no, Hohi has a hipster cardigan, is that right? I will put the designer and any pattern names and designer names down below, and links to the Ravelry pages with big and bold for Ravelry, because not everybody still can use it. It's not always accessible. And then if you know the designer's name, you can probably find it on another platform if they sell it on another platform. I think it's petiteKnits now that I'm thinking of it. It is pretty much a 2x2 ribbed hat. John loves those. Well, he folds his up like twice. He likes them to be like sitting above his ears. On certain hats, not all of them, but he's wearing a hat today. And I love it so much because he is very appreciative. He is very much like a knit-worthy person, and I am really happy for that. I also measured Hazel's foot, my youngest. She is now able to wear socks that I crank with the 64 stitch cylinder, because I made her try on a pair of mine. She's like, they're big, and I'm like, yeah, they're definitely long, and I can crank them with the heel spring on and make them even tighter. So I am very excited to be able to start cranking her socks on the cylinder that I use the most and barely comes off of my machine. And I already have yarn caked up and ready to make her a pair. It is the yarn that I was attempting to hand knit her a pair of socks, and they were just too tight. They were not going over her foot. She was not happy about it. So end of story. I'm going to start cranking her some socks. Sorry, Ida Be Crankin' is right here. That's her name. Ida. I had shown you I had purchased these fidgets, one fidget, I should say, for Hazel at the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. And I decided I loved these, and my oldest wanted one. I know her schoolmates will probably like them, but I asked her to ask her teacher, because her teacher has a prize box. And I said, ask your teacher if she would like some donated fidgets for the prize box. And she said yes. So Amazon Prime Days, I was able to get like, I don't even know how many of these Bretts. If you've never seen these Bretts before, they are just like metal, and they clip open like that. You put your hair like this and you clip it back down, you know, that concept. Not everybody has seen them, but I got a lot of them at a very inexpensive price. They just came in all kinds of colors. And all I'm doing is crocheting around them. I'm using my new crochet hook, and I do really love it. It's definitely heavier than any hooks I've ever used before, but I do like it. And I'm just holding some worsted weight yarn double and making fidgets. So I mean, one of John's friends were over, and he was like, I could sit and play with this. He's like, this is dangerous. And I was like, I know. They're so much fun. So what I do is I crochet, well, it really depends, I guess, on the yarn you're using. But what I'm doing with around worsted weight held double with a, oh boy, F hook, I believe is what I'm using. It might be the next size. I'm not sure. I am just crocheting 6 or 7 as a chain. I'm doing a chain, sorry, of like 7 stitches. And then I'm like turning folding it in half. So then I can crochet in a circle or a spiral up 7 around. And then both ends are open. I leave a tail at the top, and I just sew the ends. And I have some multiples of colors in here, but I have multiple fidgets that I will be donating to my daughter's school. And so I just have them in a bag with all the Bretts, and I'm just going to be, when I get a chance, doing a couple and being able to donate them. I am really excited about that. Okay. something animal fiber festival. Gosh, I can't think of the actual name. I've never been. They have been affected by Hurricane Milton, and I'm sending positive vibes and everything to all the people that have been affected. I can't even imagine the videos that are on all the social media. It's really like, there are people that just completely lost homes, people that have lost family members, pets, everything they own. So if you are able to donate in any way to whatever organization that suits you, you know, that's your prerogative, etc. And if you have the means to do it, right? Or if there's other things you can do. So Nicole, Witchin Mama, who is hosting the emotional support ghost mail. If you haven't checked her out, you should check her out. I'm going to link the video down below. She's talking about the festival. SAF is always in October. It is really close to Asheville. I think it's only like 10 miles away from Asheville. And if you've been following the news at all here in the US, Asheville is, they're sending pack mules and stuff to the people in the mountains because there is no access other than like helicopter. I don't even think planes. It's probably helicopter and then like pack mules and vehicles of that type of nature because like roads are completely gone. So she lists and talks about some of the vendors. She has a whole vendor list, I think, with that video. So there are vendors, like she says in the video, that prep for these type of festivals, and they might put thousands of dollars of stock of materials into their project, into the stuff they're going to be selling, and then now that festival is not happening. So if that's a way you want to help the fiber community, you can go and shop from them, because I'm sure they're going to be trying to put stuff online to try to sell some of their product. So again, I will link that down below for you. I have one more thing. John bought this on a whim and he put it on his Instagram stories, and he did a poll of if you've never seen your partner or a person or a friend doing this craft, would you like go out a limb and buy it for them to try something new? Well, John does this kind of stuff for me like all the time. So I am totally okay with it. Now, I had inherited, and I shouldn't say inherited, I mean, technically, I guess I inherited it from a coworker's mom who had passed away, and she had some vintage looking Halloween, it's the plastic canvas. John bought this off Hirschner's. I have seen this. I've seen this out in the YouTube world. I've seen it in the Hirschner's catalog, and when he first told me, I really thought he got me the rug hooking because I think those are really cool. I did them a lot as a kid. If you know what I'm talking about, it's like the latch hook and the cut pieces of yarn that come in the plastic circle. And I thought that's what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a Halloween. I knew it was probably going to be Halloween themed. It was not that, which is okay. I was very intimidated when I inherited those pieces because they didn't come with any instructions. It was, the pieces were all in a bag. And me watching a YouTube video, this has instructions. So this is from Hirschner's, and look at this thing. It is the Haunted House. Is that what they call it? The Haunted Manor. It comes with all of the yarn, the canvas, the instructions and charts, a tapestry needle. It comes with pipe cleaners and beads, because there are pieces in here that, like, these things on the tree are pipe cleaners. Now, the back has, you'll be able to see everything that it comes with. It comes with all this yarn. And the instructions look really clear. I was reading it this morning while drinking my coffee. And so we're going to be trying a new craft. This could be my cover photo. Yeah. So my husband is a huge supporter. He said, if you hate it, give it away. And I'm like, no, I really do want to try it, because I am definitely one of those people that you've seen if you've been here a while, that I try all kinds of stuff, all the beaded crochet, the little tiny beaded crochet with thread. I mean, I will try things. And so I am very excited to give this a go. It is a huge project. And I know I will not have this done for this Halloween, but I think tonight I might cut out my first piece and try it. So I could take you guys along on my journey for that. So, all right. Other than the crafting, what have we been up to? So we had went to Shenandoah, which I already talked about. And then other than that, it has been just school, work, all the normal things, trying to get my dad's estate stuff all together, finding a tax attorney who does estate taxes. I'm just not even gonna like, I've made so many phone calls. I have been on the phone for probably, I can say hours at this point, trying to do things to get this all together. And yeah, and it's, on top of it, it's all very emotional too. You know it has to get done, but then it's all the memories because you're talking about the person who has passed. So it's been a journey. I have been staying as sane as possible with reading, listening to audiobooks. I'm in a movie group. I'm in a book group. It's been a whirlwind. We're doing all the spooky things. Do you remember the book, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? I can't think of the author. I'll insert a picture here. Now, they did make a movie. I have now since watched that movie, but I am a total chicken, and I had to watch it during the day while people were home. I was watching it in my office here while working, but I could not watch it after everyone went to bed. It was like jump scary, and I was like, nope, can't do this. I'm not doing this. I mean, I love Halloween, but scary stuff scares me. Jump scary and gore. I am not a gore fan. Gore does not do it for me. So if you've read the book when you were little, it's definitely different listening to it because they stop and say, now scare your friends and stuff like that. So it was a bit weird to listen to, but I'm really glad I listened to it now as an adult and then watched the movie because I could see all the elements of the book and the movie colliding, and that was really good. We have been watching, we watched The Wolfman, which I've never seen, the classic Wolfman with, I think, Lon Chaney. We watched a few other spooky movies, and we started watching Scream, which I love Scream. I grew up, I was the generation where Scream was super popular. I was in high school. I fit the demographic of all the people in the movie. It is a good movie. We started watching that last night, but I think it may have been a little much for Hayes. I mean, I'm not sure she loves like scary stuff, not in the sense of like horror scary, because she'll watch Jurassic Park over and over and over, but this is just different. So yeah, but I love that movie. I mean, I'm a huge Matthew Lillard fan in general. I have a picture of him holding Hazel when she was a baby because we went to one of those Monster Con conventions or whatever. And then I watched The Birds on my own because I had never seen it. Now, we were in our movie group, we were kind of on an Alfred Hitchcock kick a few months ago, and I had never seen The Birds, and that was quite interesting, the way they used different movie effects of the time, because that was in the 60s, and so that was a little bit different than some of the Hitchcock stuff I had seen. I mean, he doesn't do a lot of gore, but one of the scenes, like, it's a little gory, and it wasn't gory in the sense of Texas Chainsaw Massacre gory, but it was good, and I'm glad that I have now watched that. The current book that we're going to start reading, though, is It. I've seen the new movies. I haven't seen the original miniseries that was, I think, on television, and I think there's another movie that was older also, but I've only seen the new ones, but I've never read it. So if you want to read It, we're going to be reading It. It's just like 4 of us in this little tiny book group. And, but yeah, we're going to read It. I would like to rewatch the new movies because I thought they were very good. But I do want to see, I believe the miniseries is the one with, Tim Curry? Right. The guy from Rocky Horror, right? His name's Tim. Gosh, that's going to bug me now. I believe that's right. But I would like to see him playing It because I've not seen that. So, All right, so I'm going to go. I've rambled a lot about a lot of not knitting and crafting things. So I appreciate you guys for sticking around, watching. Please check on your friends and loved ones. You know, it's a rough time in the US right now, and everywhere. I shouldn't say just here, for all different reasons. So just make sure that you're checking in with your people. And until the next episode, peace, love, and happy knitting, guys. Bye.